Welcome everybody. Today we are starting with the basics. What is a website and what goes into making it functional? At its core, a website is basically a collection of web pages that are accessible over the internet. So think of it as a digital space or let's say a home where information or media uh, or content are hosted and shared with users around the world. Basically, a website is you creating a page. So let's say this is a web page. I'm on a website currently. Let's say this is a web page. I have another page here. Let's say shop. Okay, this is another page, also crafted nicely. And this is another page. I could visit also another page from here. Let's say I want to log in. This is also a different page. I could also use the register. Yes, so this basically is the idea. Okay, so you having a number of pages that you have made accessible to the outside world through the internet. Okay, so basically that is what we mean when we say a website. Okay, so each page you visit on a website is called a web page, as I said earlier. And then these pages may contain text, like you see here. This is text. This is also text. Down here is text. It can also contain images, like you are seeing here. Okay, same image here. Could contain videos as well. Could also contain videos. It can also have links. For instance, I could click home and then it takes me back elsewhere, like I'm back in the home page. Or I could click this link here to go to the login page or go to a register page. And all these components come together to make it very interactive. Okay, so we'll go to some of the basic things. Like we are not really looking at the architecture now. We are just looking at the things that you can see when you go to a website. We'll switch to a website like Wikipedia. So Wikipedia. Okay, so basically we see things like headers. We see links. Let's say, is this a link? Yeah, this is a link. If I click this, it should take me elsewhere. Then we see something like the main content. I think this can be classified as the main content. These are the main highlights of the page. Then we can see sidebars. This is a sidebar here. Okay, it's a sidebar. It helps organize some actions for you. This is not we don't have a particular standard. You determine what you put into these pages, and so we are just looking at some of the things you could see, not from an architectural background, but some of the things you see as a lame person that visits a website. Okay, so I think we can also look at the navigation bar up here. Nav bar, it leads you to other pages. It has links that leads you to other pages. That's why we call it a navigation bar. Okay, then what else can we look at? That this website have a footer? Yes, so we have a footer here. Yeah, we have a footer here, and this is mostly this placed at the bottom of the page, and then it contains details like contact, Yeah, so if you look here, you can see something like terms of use, privacy policy, stuff like that. It should have some companies put their contacts and other stuff also here. Okay, so basically those are some of the things that you see on a typical website. Yeah, so I think we could look at this too. Okay, one other thing I missed, mostly you might see a search bar, and this search bar, mostly people put it in their headings and all that. Yeah, so practically these are some of the things that you see on a typical website. Okay, so somebody will ask, how are websites accessed, or what makes a website publicly accessible to people on the internet? So for you to have a working website, there are a couple of things that need to align. So first of all, you have your web pages that are linked together. Then number two, you should have a web server. Okay, so um, your web server is a host, or like a computer that your web files are saved on. So a computer with network connectivity. Yeah, so mostly these web servers are computers with high resource capabilities that are mostly online. So for instance, if you plan to host your website and you are sure enough that your personal PC will always be online, and then have the resources to be able to serve the page to people who are trying to access it through the internet, then it becomes a web server. And so something like Azure's cloud servers are web servers, because you could buy a space there, and then you put your web applications or websites directly on their servers. They are mostly online, and then people can access them. Then one other thing that should be present is a URL. So a URL is a uniform resource locator, and it is what somebody types into their browser when they want to access your website. So if we look at the main page for Wikipedia, we can see https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/main page. Okay, so this is the URL that points to the main page for Wikipedia. Okay, so you should have that. And then how do you get that? The URL is mostly made up of two parts. We have the protocol, which is in this case we have the HTTPS. Okay, we have the protocol, which is using the HTTPS. It's the protocol that is being used. Let's say we have in.wikipedia.org as a domain name, and then we have the exact resource that is being accessed, that is the main page. Okay, so basically that should be there for a website to be live. Then one other thing that is very important is a web browser. So I am using Chrome, as you can see. When I open a new tab in Chrome and I enter YouTube, I should be able to access the YouTube website. Okay, so it's loading. So I could see the YouTube website loaded here. Yeah, so basically that should be present for a website to work. Then one thing that is also very important that I've forgotten is the internet connection. So you should be connected to the internet to be able to access a website. Okay, so now I think this is a basic introduction. So to sum it all up, A website is a collection of web pages that are grouped under one URL, and then can be accessed over the internet. Okay, then websites are made of web pages, and each web page has components like header sections, footer sections, main content, sidebars, navigation bars, links, images, and among others. Then for a website to go live, you need to host your website files on a web server. Then that web server should be connected, the IP address of that web server should be connected to a domain name, and that web server should be online to be able to be accessed from remote locations. So basically that brings to an end our introduction to what a website is. Stay tuned as we dive deep into the architecture of web pages. We are going to look at the basic structure of HTML pages, and we look at the components that makes up an HTML page from an architectural point of view. So stay tuned and watch out for the next video. Thank you. Bye.